All right, guys, this is Mr. Ainsworth here. Let's get ready to make some corrections on your quiz here in Algebra 1. Okay, now this is for Period 1, Version 2 only, so keep that in mind. Version number is up at the top. So make sure you use the right tutorial video to do your corrections, okay? Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this document here because you should be looking at your quiz in OneNote, split screen, side by side with me, and you should have your video on one side and this on the other side. And what you want to do is click on the text box in the upper left-hand corner, click on text mode, click on your document. Okay, it's going to give you an option to copy, so you select copy. And then over here on the right, grab your pen and write down corrections over here. And then what I want you to do is click on the text mode and then use your finger, press and hold, and paste that document on the other side. And this is where you can do your corrections. So you have your quiz on one side, and you're going to watch me, and I'm going to solve all the problems. And you're going to take notes here to compare what you did with what you should be doing when you solve an equation. Okay? So here we go, and do it in whatever color you want. So here we go. Let's take a look at the first one here. Some number x minus 9 equals 14. All right, and the answer is not 5. Okay, 5 minus 9 is not 14. So what we want to do is do the inverse. We're going to, the inverse of subtracting 9 is adding 9. And we're going to add 9 to both sides. The opposites here, negative 9 plus 9 is 0. Opposites always add to 0. Always add to 0. Sorry about that. Opposites always add to 0. I'm obviously at school right now. Okay, so what do we get? Okay, we get x here is equal to 14 plus 9, which is 23. And that makes sense. 23 minus 9 is 14. So you always substitute back and check. All right. Next one. We're going to add the opposites. We're going to add the opposite of 5 to both sides. Opposites add to 0. And by the way, this is an instructional video, and it's a video. So you pause and play and go at your own speed. So if I go too fast, pause it, rewind it, listen to it again until you understand it, okay? Now, then I get 2x here is equal to 11 plus 5 or 16, and then you just think about it. 2 times what number equals 16? And it's got to be 8, right? 2 times 8 is 16. Or you can divide by 2, and you still get 8. So x is equal to 8 here. That makes sense. 2 times 8 is 16, minus 5 is 11. Again, you always substitute back to check. Part C, again, add the opposite. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. Opposites add to 0 here, and you get x divided by 4 is equal to 7 plus 3 or 10. And the inverse of division is called multiplication, so we're going to multiply both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is on the left is 1. 1 times x is x, and x is 10 times 4, which is 40. Oh, and by the way, when you're looking at your grading, each problem is worth 5 points. 5 points apiece here. So if you see a score 5, 4, 3, or 2, or 0, that's where it's coming from. And then I take an average at that. Okay, part D. Here we're going to add the opposite again. So I get x divided by 2 is equal to 4 plus negative 11, which is negative 7. And then you got to multiply both sides by 2. Simplify, and then we get x is equal to negative 14. There we go. So a similar process throughout here. We're just going over some basics. It's the next 3 that are the difficult ones. Okay, so here we're going to show our work on the side. All right. Time to add the opposite one more time again. So 2/3 x minus 1 1/3 equals 4. Well, the opposite of negative 1 1/3 is positive 1 1/3. So we want to add 1 1/3 to both sides. And again, opposites always add to 0. So these combine to 0 here. And then what you have, well, you have 2/3 x on the left side. So 2/3 x here is equal to whatever 4 plus 1 1/3 is. And it's addition, so it's simple. If you have 4 pizzas plus 1 1/3 pizza, you have 5 1/3 pizzas. Okay, so you add whole numbers. 4 plus 1 is obviously 5. Okay, now how comes the fun part. Okay, so here you want to multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by the reciprocal on the left side and the right side. So let's write that out. Okay, so multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, that's just you invert the fraction. Switch the numerator and denominator. That's all you do. When you multiply reciprocals, you get 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 divided by 6 is usually 1. And because of that, you get 1x, or x is equal to whatever this is, 5 1/3 times 3 halves. And that's where your side work comes in. You want to change to improper. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So you have 16/3 times 3 halves. And then here you multiply and simplify. But I would simplify first, personally. It's easier that way. Simplify first. 3 divided by 3 is usually 1. 2 into 16 is 8. So I get 8 times 1, or 8. So the answer is 8. Okay, believe it or not, you get a whole number. Coincidental. Okay, so simplify before you multiply. All right, back in the day, you might have called that cross-canceling, but it's just called simplifying. It's actually division. 3 divided by 3 is 1. You're dividing by the number in the denominator. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. There we go. Next one here, we got 2x plus 3 1/4 equals 8. So we're going to add the opposite. Or you can think subtraction too. That's the same thing. And then over here on this side here, the opposites add to 0. And you get 2x is equal to something, whatever 8 minus 3 1/4 is. And there comes your side work. Okay, side work. 8 minus 3 minus 1/4. And think pizza. You don't have to do anything fancy here. Work left to right and think pizza. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 minus 1/4 is, 4. 4. And if you subtract 1 out of 4, you have 3 out of 4 remaining. Okay, think pizza. It's that simple. If you want to draw as a picture, 5 pizzas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Divide one of the pizzas into 4 parts. Eat one. And notice that we have 4 and 3/4 remaining. That's the thought process. So 4 and 3/4. That's step 1. Now, step 2, you got to solve for x, and you do the inverse. Or again, you multiply by the reciprocal again. And the reciprocal of dividing by 2, I mean, you could do this right here and divide by 2. Since we're dealing with fractions, I think it's easier to multiply by the reciprocal again. So reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. And again, the reason why you do that is because when you multiply 1/2 times 2, you get 1. And that isolates your variable, and you get x is equal to something. Whatever 4 and 3/4 times 1/2 is. And again, that's where you do your side work, right? So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19/4 times 1/2. Okay, and you're forced to multiply. 19 times 1 is 19. 4 times 2 is 8. And then 19 divided by 8 divides 2 times, 2 times with 3 remaining. So 2 and 3/8. 2 and 3/8 here. 2 and 3/8. So notice how I'm doing my side work on the right. So if you can't do it in your head, do it on the side. Show your thinking. All right, show your thinking. All right, and then that's it. So part G, last one. Here we go. So once again, add the opposite. So if you see plus 2 1/5, you're going to subtract 2 1/5 or add a negative 2 1/5. It's the same thing. And then what do we get? We get x divided by 3 on the left-hand side and whatever 7 minus 2 1/5 is. So again, side work. Here we go. 7 minus 2 minus 1/5. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 take away 1/5 is 4 4/5. Think pizza, as I keep explaining. Okay, seriously. If you have 5 pizzas and you take out 1 slice out of 5, you have 4, not 4/4, but 4. Let me fix the denominator, 4 4/5. Okay, so let's bring that over. And now all you do is do the inverse again. If I have a number divided by 3 equals 4 4/5, you do the inverse, which is multiplying. On the left-hand side, 3 divided by 3 is usually 1. All right, here we go. And then, so we get x here. And then here on this one, you distribute through. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times, or 3 times 4/5 is 12/5. Okay, you distribute twice. All right, and then you have to simplify this improper fraction. 12/5 is 12 divided by 5, divides twice. Remainder 2, so 2 2/5. So 12 plus 2 2/5, that gives you 14 2/5. Obviously, 12 2 is 14. And there you go. And that, my friends, is the entire quiz. All right. Now what you have to do is one thing, making corrections. That's easy. You're listening to me. Right? Now you're in the practice step. So click on text box, click on your document, copy it. Now's the time to practice. So write down practice on the right-hand side. Press and hold, click on text mode again, press and hold with your finger, paste it on the right-hand side, and voila, it appears. You got to learn how to use your iPad effectively. Okay, you can do amazing things. So on the far left is your quiz, in the middle are the corrections, and now you have to practice to develop mastery. So you expand this here, you practice to do one important thing. Okay, listening to me is not enough. Okay, you have to develop mastery, and the only way to do that is to actually practice on your own without looking at your answers. Okay, so you don't look at your work. So zoom out, close your notes or cover up your notes, try A, and then check it. Try each one of those and check as you go. Practice, check. Practice, check. And then when you're done, you can submit when you're finished. And so your submission should just look like this. Okay? And that is the plan. And this is what we're going to do. All right, so I'll see you in class. You make yourself proud, and I'll see you then. Take care.